Hello, everyone. All right. This is kind of a learning curve for me. Let's see. Fabulous.
Hello, everyone.
I got to turn myself off.
This is kind of a learning curve for me.
Fabulous. Okay, that should mean I get to see the comments, which is ideal for a Q&A. So let me make sure everyone who RSVP'd to the event knows that it's over here. This is all new for me. Hi, Amanda. Hello. Let me see. All right, live video. There we go. This is the first of just the Tip Tuesdays, actually in quite a while. I used to do them. And then they got 2020. So we all know how that went. Hello. How is everyone today? Say hi in the comments and talk back to me, because otherwise I feel like I'm recording a podcast episode. Say hi. How's it going? How's your week? It's beautiful here. I'm going to go for a bike ride soon before it gets cold. Oh no, Shelly said captions are auto-generated. I don't know if that's good. Will it say swear words? Here, let's try it. Fuck. I don't know. Just the Tip Tuesdays. It's something I used to do a while back. As a matter of fact, someone else used the name in their business, and Suzanne, someone that I know, another photographer, tagged me and she said, they're using your name. And I'm like, I think that that's a name that's been around for quite a while, but I love that she calls it my name. I don't even remember where I got it. So can everyone hear me okay? Can you guys say hi in the comments? Hello. I have some questions that people submitted ahead of time, but I want to honor everyone who's here live. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments because I would love to help. If you're watching this on YouTube, the only place that I can see comments is actually in the Facebook group. So go to businessstraightup.com/community because quite frankly, I don't know how to see them on YouTube. So if you're commenting on YouTube, I'm sorry. I don't see it. So go to the Facebook group so that I can see your comment and answer your question, because basically I just want this to be a conversation, like to say hi, to see what's up, because I do podcast episodes every week and those are still coming. I'm going to record one today actually, but I just wanted to kind of just have a down-to-earth chill conversation where it's not like me teaching and me specifically telling you about one thing. I just want to answer your questions. Amanda said, can hear you loud and clear. Shelly, they censored me. What the fuck? No good. Disapprove. Strongly disapprove. So, again, I have a list of questions, but I'm going to tell you right now what I am personally working on. I really struggle with consistency, and I know that so many of my students do as well. So I wanted to show you my habit tracker. And then, of course, it got buried under my books. By the way, if you're not part of book club, you should be. It's badassbossbookclub.com. And this is not one we read in book club because it came out during quarantine, but it is amazing. Highly recommend. This is March's book club book. And you know that if I got a hard copy, that it's kick-ass because I don't do hard copies. So let's see. Where is my habit tracker? Does anyone else have a desk where things like disappear? It can't just be me, right? I had it out. Here it is. My habit tracker. So I have figured out that there are certain things that I must do every week. And if those are the only things I do for my business, like and I do nothing else, then I'm good. I at least feel good about myself to a point. So habit tracker, this is what it looks like. And I just fill in whether it was done, whether it was not done, all the things. And so far, so good. I'm pretty proud of myself that I've been doing podcast episodes consistently. I get my habit, my norm tends to be that when I get overwhelmed, I just don't do anything, which does not serve anyone, least of all my students and clients. So I am working on that, and I wanted to share that with you because I feel like there's this tendency to believe that once someone is where you want to be, so running a multiple six-figure business, successful clients, whatever you want to call it, there's this tendency to believe that when someone is there, that everything is good and it's all fine. And while we definitely are in a good place, it is also a place that has new challenges. So there are new challenges no matter what level you're at. So questions. Shelly said, what's consistency? Girl, I am trying. And I have really rebelled against consistency for a long time because I'm like, I'm a creative, I'm a free spirit. And that's true. And I very much am. I fit my personality types very well. I don't like constraints. I don't like requirements, but the reality is that when I get those requirements done, it means more success where I want it so that I have more freedom to do what I want. So that is kind of struggling. The internal struggle in me is like, no constraints, no schedules. And then, hey, a schedule really lets me do what I want to do instead of worrying about getting shit done. So I'm curious whether Facebook will censor shit too. How funny. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I can't see anything on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, please go to the Facebook group to ask questions because I don't know how to see comments on YouTube. This is a learning thing for me. So Amanda asked, if you are struggling with business, what is one thing to focus on right now? This is going to require some reflection because the one thing that I would tell you to focus on right now is the thing that is making you money. And the reason that I say that is because it's different for everyone. So for instance, if you get a lot of leads from social media, I would say really focus on social media. But if you don't, then focusing on social media isn't going to do shit for you. So think about where you have booked your last few clients, because typically 20% of what we do gets us 80% of our results, which is kind of hard to hear as a business owner because we want to believe that we have all of these different things that we can be working on and we like being busy. And time on Facebook was totally working, right? I was working during that time because I need it for my business, right? And I'm not pointing fingers at anyone because that's me. So I totally feel you, but you need to know where your last few clients have come from. So did they come from SEO? Did they come from email marketing? Did they come from social media? Did they come from partnering with other businesses? You need to really identify where your clients are coming from, because when you're struggling to get clients, that is where you will want to put your attention. We spread our attention so much because you hear random shit, right? Like you even hear from me, you should be doing email marketing. And yes, you should be. But when you're struggling, you need to be doing what's working for you instead of working on something new. Does that make sense? Maybe. Hey, I see more people on. So say hi in the comments, because otherwise it just feels like I'm talking to myself and recording a podcast episode, because I do that often and I'm actually more comfortable with that now than I ever have been because of the podcast. So say hi in the comments in the Facebook group. If you're on YouTube, I can't see your questions. So go to the Facebook group at businessstraightup.com/community. And I have a few other questions, but I want to make sure that that makes sense, Amanda, and anyone else. Hi, Jordan. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, see, now I'm starting to see all the little faces and stuff. Someone put a mad face. Uh-oh. Spam. Someone put a mad face. Why are you mad? Maybe it was an accident. Anyway. Amanda said that makes sense. Thank you. You are so welcome. So, I also want to tell you a little bit about what I have been not struggling with, but looking at more in my own life is my fear of judgment and other people's opinions, which is total bullshit. And I know that so many of my students feel that as well. I heard recently, and I can't remember where I heard it, but if you're familiar with Ramit Sethi, he is amazing and I adore him. He is a financial guy and business guy and just brilliant and has a ton of really, really great insight. And he said, if I don't have at least 4 or 5 failures a month, I feel like I'm not trying hard enough. And that really hit me because we're so focused on not failing, right? Like, well, if I do this marketing thing and no one books and I fail, then I'm clearly a terrible human, a terrible photographer, a terrible business owner, whatever you want to call it. And it's not true. It just means you put yourself out there. And if it didn't work, what can you learn from it? So I wanted to share something that I did when I was newer in my photography business that was a massive failure. And it's so funny to me because so many people told me they wanted it. And I hear this a lot, especially when it comes to mini sessions. My dogs are licking themselves, so that's nice. People tell me all the time that they want mini sessions, right? Like, hey, do you ever do minis? Do you have any minis coming up? And then I did a mini day and no one booked it. And so while I think that there is value in listening to your tribe and your clients and what they want, you also have to do what's best for you and your own business. And it does not always mean giving them what they think they want. What is that quote from the quote from Henry Ford? If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse instead of a car. And how true is that? How funny is that? Because they didn't know what they didn't know. People didn't know that they needed a car. They didn't even know what a car was. They had no idea. Let me turn on my light here because I look funny. There we go. People didn't even know that they wanted a car because they didn't even know what a car was. They had no idea. How can someone verbalize that they want something when they don't even know that it's an option? And so what happened is when I booked when I set up minis, people realized that they weren't going to get the full experience that they had been used to seeing on my website. And therefore they didn't book. Now, was it a great marketing tool? Yeah, it definitely got the word out. But I booked one. Now I booked myself out for 2 months afterwards. And this was when I had my commercial space. So that was nice. But I literally booked one of these sessions and I put so much work into this. Like there was a special set. There were numerous special lights up. They were gorgeous. And I still have people comment on them on social media going, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. But they don't want the mini session. So I could have looked at that as a failure, right? I booked a day for mini sessions. I had a makeup artist who was ready to do mini sessions. She was there for it. And I booked one and that sucked. But instead, I learned from it. Now, this was in 2015, I think, or 2016, something like that. I learned from it. I chose to put myself out there and it didn't work the way I wanted it to, but that's okay because I learned and I moved forward. I struggle with this idea of failure because I don't want to put a ton of time and energy into something that doesn't work. But the reality is that life is just one big fucking experiment, right? And that's the case for everyone. You have a marriage and you're like, I don't know if he's going to like this, but hey, let's try it. You have kids and you're parenting and you're like, well, I don't know. We're just all doing the best we can. That's basically what life is, especially in business. And when you go into business, you're choosing to have yourself magnified because that means marketing and putting yourself out there, which can be scary. But guess what? It's okay. It will all be okay. One of my coaches says, everything always has been, always will be, or everything always has been, is, and will always be okay. So I wanted to share that with you about failures. It's something that I personally have been looking at and figuring out ways to reframe the things that I try that don't work. Tell me in the comments if that resonated with you, if you've had a failure lately and you're like, I suck, and you just need me to remind you that you don't suck. If you need permission to not feel scared about putting something out into the world, if you have ideas that you want to throw out there, you put them out there. And guess what? If they don't work, it's okay. I wonder if this is a female thing, because I feel like I don't see guys beating themselves up like I see the women, but that could just be because I'm surrounded by women. So tell me in the comments. And if you're watching this on replay, say replay so I know where you're at. But tell me in the comments what's up. And I'll see my new mug. And I have more questions that came up, but let me know if you have questions too, because I really do just want to have a conversation about business, about this crazy shit, because the bottom line is that when you go into business, you are basically signing up to put yourself out there, which is scary as fuck. And you just have to be okay with the fact that not everything is going to work perfectly. And it doesn't mean you're a terrible human. Amanda said, my photos for Flipper might be a semi-failure, but we will see. Why do you think it'll be a failure? I'm curious. What would make it a failure? What is that measurement? That's something we don't think about, right? Like what is, people tell me all the time, I don't know if my work is good enough. Okay. So what does good enough mean? What is the line? At what point will you be good enough? How many people do you have to have telling you you're good to be considered good enough? How many booked clients do you need to have for you to consider yourself good enough? One of my coaches asked me that, and I was like, I don't know. What's the line? What's the measurement? Amanda said it's been shared a ton, but the bookings are just not coming in. I had that with minis too. So on one hand, it's good because people are sharing your information, right? So it gets you out there. But if people aren't booking, then it's not where you wanted it to be. But it does not mean it's a failure. How many bookings do you want, Amanda? So for anyone that is not familiar, Amanda has a very super amazingly sweet puppy who needs surgery. And so she wanted to make some extra money because that's what we can do when we're business owners, right? We can say, hey, this expense came up, let's cover it and make some extra revenue. And so she is doing headshots, just a day of headshots for her doggy surgery. Shelly said, same with the minis I did for Mother's Day for dog moms. Man, I struggle with minis so much, guys. I don't see success with minis. And I think it's different when it's a fundraiser because people will often step up for a fundraiser. But when it comes to minis, fully booked would be 16 slots filled. I have 2 filled so far, is what Amanda said. So when is the event, Amanda? I don't remember. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because remember that people tend to book last minute, especially right now with COVID stuff. I feel like it's extremely last minute. So, Thursday, March 11th, girl. What? Seriously? Okay. So 16, and you have 2 booked so far. 2 divided by 16. So you are 13% booked, and we still have almost 3 weeks out. You're doing great. You're doing great. Minis are not my favorite. I think they're good for fundraiser type things. $75 minimum donation. Okay, I'm just looking at Amanda's stuff. Hey, Amanda, did you intentionally have, right now I see the sign up link at cutt.ly/playday without the T. Just curious if maybe it was the wrong image, or I'm sorry, the wrong link, because it's PLAYDAE instead of DATE. And if it's the wrong link, then maybe that's why people aren't signing up. But seriously, you're 3 weeks out. People wait until the last minute. Let me know in comments if that link is right. All right, let's see. Jordan. Hello, Jordan. She said, IPS is so nerve-wracking for me, which is weird because I used to sell $200 bottles of lotion. Upselling someone is kind of hard. I have a client coming up who is coming off, like she's not planning on buying anything. I guess I better kill the session. Jordan, we'll talk about that in just a sec. I want to go back to Amanda's real quick. Amanda said, yes, it was an auto-generated link shortener. Amanda, with your WordPress website, there is a plugin that you can use called Pretty Links. And it is amazing. And I use it every single day. I love, love, love that plugin. It is partially why I keep WordPress for one of my websites, because I have 55 domains now. Use Pretty Links and get your own link, because then it will be at your name. So it'll be Bellevue Photography or whatever your URL is, / and you can just do Flipper. You can put whatever you want at the end. That's how I do all my, so I have a new product coming out and it's just / emails done. And I do / websites 101. That's how I do all my freebies. Pretty Links is amazing. Hi, Terry. Yeah, don't do Bitly. No. Let me see. Bellevue Photography. Yeah, so it would be bellevueofco.com/flipper or whatever you want it to be. Let me see. Let me share my screen. All right. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. I'm going to show you what Pretty Links looks like, because it is like my most favorite plugin ever in WordPress. I so love it. This is one of my websites. So with my podcast episodes, you guys know that I have businessstraightup.com/058, but because a lot of people don't put the zeros, I also have 58. And this is what Pretty Links looks like, meaning that when you click and add new, so you click on add new and you type in what you want it to say. So you could type in like Flipper here, and then you just put the actual link that you want it to go to. So if you wanted to go to like a booking site or whatever, and it just creates a redirection. It doesn't hurt your site at all. It's amazing. And I really, really, really recommend it. So for this live, I did businessstraightup.com/live Tuesdays. And it literally, here, I can show you if I edit, it literally just goes to the Facebook group events. Pretty Links is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. So Amanda, get your own link, because that would make me think that it's not working properly, or that it's not spelled properly, if that makes sense. That's really weird that it is play day instead of play date. Like, of all the weird URLs they could give you, they gave you that one. All right. Let's talk about Jordan's question. Jordan, I would ask you first, why is IPS nerve-wracking for you? Why are you okay selling a $200 bottle of lotion, but not your work that you put your time and effort into? Because usually when people tell me IPS is scary for them, it's because of a lack of confidence in their own skills and their own work, which is kind of an underlying issue to everything. When people are afraid to do marketing, when people are afraid to go live in their group, when people are afraid to share their work, when people are afraid to charge what they're worth, usually it's that underlying confidence. So I would be curious as to why it's nerve-wracking. Because if you're fine selling a $200 bottle of lotion, which I know that sounds high for us, but there are some people that pay tens of thousands of dollars for lotion. So remember, price is always subjective. I think I just saw on Ellen, Sandra Bullock uses a special cream for her face. It's made out of the foreskin of circumcised boys, which is super weird to put dick cream on your face. But hey, here we are. This is the technology we have. And I would imagine that that bottle of lotion is extremely expensive. I'm just guessing, but I would imagine that it's super expensive. So Jordan said, I used to break down the benefits for them. So why are you not comfortable breaking down the benefits of what you do? I feel like a deer in headlights once we get to a reveal. Like, here you go, pay me money. Okay. So let's talk about this. There are two things that you have to have in business to be successful, to actually have a business. Even though I get a lot of pushback on this and people are like, I just want to create. I'm like, then you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And photography is a very expensive hobby. Not as expensive as being a pilot, as so I'm finding out with my son in flight school, but still. So you have to have leads and sales. When you have a client booked, you already have the lead covered. So yay, that's good, right? One step forward. But now you have to have sales. If you are creating value for someone, truly, and I'm not talking about just, hey, I'm going to, draw on your hand type of value. Not to say that that's not value, because tattoo artists are a specialty all of their own and whatever. But I'm talking about when you add real value to someone's life, you deserve to be paid for it. Jordan, can you tell me, well, you told me tanning salon, right? Okay. So the benefits to that $200 lotion, you could probably list out in your sleep, right? You're just used to it. What were the benefits? Do you truly believe in those benefits of the lotion? Like, do you really know that it worked well? I'm curious to know, because when you truly believe in what you do, you'll start to lose all of these blocks. Do you have clients who have given you testimonials? And if yes, have they shared how much what you do has affected them? Amanda, I know I saw on one of the posts of someone sharing yours how much he loved his new headshot, that he was constantly sharing things that didn't really align with where he was now, and he loves what you did for him. Do you guys really internalize these things? The things that people tell you. It's not just about, oh yeah, she takes great pictures, but it's the way that you affected someone. What does that picture do for them? The things that you do affect people in different ways. So I know that the photos that I take, sorry, you're going to hear my dogs. I know that the photos that I take affect my clients big time. Amanda said, I didn't really think about that. You have to, there's this disconnect that I see for so many photographers and creatives in believing that what they create has value. And oftentimes I think that it comes with a few things. One, the fact that we all have a camera in our pocket now with our smartphones. Two, the fact that no one prints things anymore anyway. So when we print something for someone, we're like, does it really matter? Does it really have value? Yes. Yes, it does. Because you know what? When you go to look at your grandma's wedding photos, are you popping in a floppy disk into your computer? No. No. And those photos is the value in the floppy disk, even if you had a floppy disk. Do you guys even know what a floppy disk is? I'm probably aging myself here. But even if you had a floppy disk of grandma's wedding photos, which chances are you do not, but even if you had one, what is that floppy disk worth? Is it worth the 27 cents that it costs for the floppy disk? Of course not. It's worth so much more because of what's on it. The creation that is on that media. And Amanda, sorry, need to collect my thoughts because when I get talking about this, like I'm really passionate about this. So many creatives don't know the value of what they create. Jordan, the photos that you are putting out into the world, the way that you're affecting your clients when you work with them has value. And dare I say, when it comes to certain kinds of sessions, even without the photos, especially in boudoir, just the experience itself has tremendous value. Think about the value that is involved in whatever it is that you create. I know I have some people that are not photographers on here as well. If you are a stylist that does hair and makeup for someone, what is the value? Like if you were going to put a dollar amount on it, what is the value in how you help someone feel better about themselves? What is that worth? It's worth so much more. And I see so many photographers and creatives who are pricing themselves less than what someone would pay to go out to dinner. And my friend Tanya told me years ago, this guy is coming in and he just went to a super nice dinner last night. She told me this about one of her former clients. And he spent several $100s on a dinner that he's going to go shit out in 8 hours. But we value that. Why? Because of the chef's expertise. Well, what about your expertise? I really want you guys to step into understanding the value in what you create. If you're an esthetician and you do brow microblading or whatever, I don't know these terms, but what is the value that you create for someone who now does not have to fill in her eyebrows every day? These things matter, guys. We have people out there doing random shit and making a lot of money. Okay, let's talk about Kim Kardashian. Okay, now granted, she has upped her contribution level a lot, but before all of that, her major contribution was a sex tape. And she's making millions off of that. And you guys think you can't charge what you're worth? What you do matters. You create a headshot for someone. It's not just about the picture. Now they're splashing that headshot everywhere. Even if they don't tag you, you know what that means? That means they feel good about it. That means that you created something that helps that person feel good. What is that worth? There are people out there making lip gloss that costs $200 for lip gloss. They have no problem charging that. Because you know what? People are going to buy it because it makes them feel good. Jordan, IPS, I want you to reframe your feeling around IPS from sales, even though it is a sales appointment, to advisor. I have clients come into IPS who want giant prints. They want like 30 by 40 canvas and they're ready to buy. And they totally want it because they know that they want themselves that big on their wall, but they don't have the space for it. And I will talk them down from that. Does it mean a lower sale for me? Yes. But It means that I am a trusted advisor who is walking them through the options to make sure that they have what they need and want. Now, if she pushes back and says, I really want that 30 by 40, am I going to give it to her? Yes. But I care more about the client experience and the overall value that I'm bringing to someone's life than I do squeezing the extra few $100s out of that sale to give someone they don't want, to give someone something they don't want or need. So Jordan, how many times have you done IPS? Are you used to it yet? Because when you've done it a ton of times, I've done it probably over 1,000 times now. You just get so used to it that it's not even a second. I mean, you don't even think about it. It's the same with you and the lotion from the tanning salon. You probably didn't even think about it. You didn't even have a second thought about the fact that you're selling a $200 bottle of lotion because you knew the benefits. You knew what it did for people. You knew the value that was there and you were able to communicate that. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. Amanda said this is a really good truth bomb. Jordan said, good point. Yes. Amanda said, I didn't really think about that. Jordan said, I used to break down all the benefits for them. So what are the benefits to what you do? Tell me in comments. I want to know all the benefits to what you do. Because I can list, and I want you to think about the benefits, not just physically, but emotionally. So physically, the benefits to a boudoir session are bomb-ass photos where your ass looks good, a day of pampering where you can chill and hang out and have someone wait on you for a change instead of you waiting on everyone else. Physical, getting yourself something nice to wear, because so many of my clients are like, I only had ratty old bras and now I have cute ones. Okay, those are the physical benefits. But let's talk about the emotional benefits. And Jordan, I'm doing this for you as a breakdown because you need to consider the benefits that you offer so that you can list these out just like you did for that lotion. So let's talk about the emotional benefits. A renewed sense of confidence. A reminder that even if you're a mom now, you were a person before those kids were born and that person still matters. A reminder of your own value and worth, and that it has nothing to do with who you're married to, what you do, who your kids are, any of that. Those are the emotional benefits. And I listed 3 for each intentionally because if we have 3 physical and 3 emotional, which one is worth more? If I want a day of pampering, I can go to a spa and spend a lot less than getting boudoir photos. And then it doesn't hurt my back. Those emotional values matter. They're worth something. Why do you think people pay top dollar? Let's say a Lamborghini. Okay. I don't know what these cost. My son would be like horrified right now. Let's say a Lamborghini. If it's $100,000 for a nice one, right? Sorry, I have a phantom hair. You guys ever have one of those where it's like tickling you everywhere and you're like, stop it. Let's say $100,000 for a Lamborghini. If it's going to get you from one place to the other, and let's be real, most people can't drive as fast as a Lamborghini would take them purely because of laws. Why would you spend $100,000 on a Lamborghini instead of a $30,000 Kia? Why? Yes, it's a nicer car. But even if we're talking about a $100,000 Lamborghini versus, let's say, a $50,000 Mercedes, it still has all the leather, still has all the perks, still has all these nice things. Why would you get the Lamborghini instead? They do the same thing. The physical benefits get you from here to there, has beautiful leather, feels good inside, but see, I caught myself. That feels good is an emotional benefit. It's the feeling that someone gets when they're driving it. Something to think about. For sure. Let me know in comments, questions. I see more people joining. So if you're joining, say hi, because otherwise it just feels like I'm talking to myself. And sometimes I do, but not very often. So if you're joining, say hi. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to go to the Facebook community because I cannot see comments on the YouTube page because I don't know how yet. I'm learning though. So I ask for your patience and your grace and your love. I want to know what you're thinking. When you're hearing me say this, are you fighting back? Are you like, no, Brooke, not me? Are you like, hell yeah? Tell me what you're thinking. In-person sales with the whole IPS thing. I also want to know, are you guys doing Zoom right now? Are you doing true in-person sales? Because I've been doing all mine via Zoom. And I didn't know if that's something you guys would want to talk about. Who's here? Say hello. See, my concern in moving forward, I have literally a whole list of topics that I can go through, but my concern in moving forward is I don't want to drop someone's concerns or questions that they have before I move forward. Krista said, hi from Chicago, just hopped on. Hi, Krista. Let me know what you guys do. What's your specialty? What do you love? What lights you up? Tell me more about your day. What are you going to do today? I'm going for a bike ride. Jordan said, yes, mine was over Zoom. Zoom is harder. It's not impossible. And I've been doing Zoom reveals for a while now. I've had clients fly in from out of state too. So I've been doing Zoom. We used to do Skype back in the day. So it's not new, but it is harder. You don't have quite the emotional reaction that you do when someone's in person. Jordan, how many times have you done IPS? Are you used to it? Do you know it? Do you love it? I'm curious. Krista from Chicago, let me know what you do. I see more people joining. I see y'all. Say hi. Don't just come into someone's house and not say hello to them. You gotta come in and say hi. One thing I also wanted to talk about here. I'm gonna make a note of it because all of these things just come into my brain. Is celebrating your wins. So Jordan said she's done IPS once. So yay, celebrate doing it once because it's hard. I would encourage you to role play the shit out of it over and over and over again. Have a friend. Don't use your spouse because they just don't get it. But find a business bestie. I think I did a podcast episode or a blog post about this a long time ago. Find a business bestie that you can role play with. And ask them to push back. Tell them, I want you to push back on pricing. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to be kind of difficult so that I get used to that because you will have difficult people. You will have people that do not understand that they need to choose their photos. How do you approach that? How do you respond to that? Krista said, what do I do? Do you have a specific genre that you love? Are you a photographer? Are you a stylist? Do you have another business? Let me know what you do in the comments. Let me see. I have people sending me messages. I want to make sure that everyone is able to get in. Fabulous. So I want to talk about celebrating the wins because I got a new bell. Is this just the cutest thing you've ever seen? So it's a sales bell. Just to ring and have fun. What do you guys do to celebrate your wins? Even the little ones. I saw Amanda pop a bottle of champagne because she got to a level in her business that she wanted to get to, which is amazing. What are you celebrating? I feel like we all have these huge goals, right? Like we have this 6-figure goal, which is great, but let's break it down a little bit. And believe me, when you hit 6 figures, I want you to celebrate the fuck out of that too. But for now, let's celebrate the little milestones to get there. because those matter too. Krista said, I'm an administrator, but really I love helping women get their health back and body transformations. That's awesome. I just had a podcast guest and we talked about this because so many people don't understand that having their well-being in check is essential for running a business. And I have run myself into the ground. When I first moved into my studio in 2014, I can't remember now. I think I did 25 sessions in 1 month. I didn't know at the time, but I was pregnant and I almost worked myself into the hospital. So that well-being is so important. And it's not just about weight loss. It's not just about being super fit and having those super abs. It's about feeling good, right? And I'm a bigger woman, no shame. But I also want to feel good in my body. So I go for bike rides, we play racquetball, I do yoga. That well-being is so important in your energy. Actually, let me make a note of this because we're gonna talk about energy. But I wanted to keep this short and we're at 48 minutes now. So I am gonna hop off. I want to do these, I'm hoping for every week, if not maybe every other week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Definitely once a month. Just the Tip Tuesdays for tips and questions and answers. Let me know in comments, was this helpful for you? Is there something you would prefer? Something that you want to see instead? Something that you're like, I'm really struggling with this. I don't even know how to ask it. There's such a delay. Let me know if this helped you. If you're watching this in the replay, say replay. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to go to the Facebook group so you can ask questions because I can't see your comments on YouTube. Not live, at least. Afterwards, I can. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're on Facebook, just say hey in the comments. And I hope you all have an amazing day today. I love you all. I really, really want to see you successful. I think that there are so many amazing things that come from women being successful and independent, even if they're married happily, doesn't matter because this is a podcast episode for another time. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm not talking about divorce. You never know what's going to happen overall, right? When women have money and are successful, we pour that back into our families and communities. And I really, really, really want for everyone here to be crazy successful beyond their dreams. So that being said,